Hello, we are New College of Florida. I'm Sarah. I'm a senior in the Quantitative Social Sciences.
Hi, my name is Tyler. I'm a junior in Econ and Finance.
Hello, my name is Adam. I'm a junior in Economics and Finance.
Hello, I'm Michael. I am a senior in Economics and Finance.
And we are presenting our analysis on the actions taken by Buck Walter and Helen Brute. And we begin with the CFA ethical violations, the most prominent of which is Walter's conflict of interest pertaining to the priority of transactions clause. He manages his own portfolio along with his clients' portfolios. And upon learning of the tweet, he neglected his responsibility to his clients by prioritizing his own investments above those of his clients. He lacked the appropriate care and prudence when he quickly took action, failing to establish a reasonable ground and validate the information necessary for performing any financial analysis. He also failed to communicate his investment actions with either a colleague or a manager after the fact, which could potentially and unknowingly benefit his place of employment at the cost of his clients.
Also, regarding duties to clients, Walter acted unethically and violated the suitability clause by quickly dumping the shares of his clients. The decision was made rashly and based on no financial data. With this violation, based on the limited information from the case, we are assuming that Walter's clients are long-term investors who are risk-averse and unlikely to participate in swift trading. Following the social media poll, Walter did not take any time to notify the clients regarding the decision and didn't fully determine whether the investment decision was suitable for the client's financial situation. We believe that Walter's actions were inconsistent with the client's written objectives.
Even if Walter's clients approve of his investment strategies, he still violated the diligence and reasonable basis clause, and by not performing thorough research before taking investment actions. It can be argued that Walter reacted with as much thoroughness as a social media post can warrant. What I mean by this is, by the time that Walter could have read this tweet, he might have had a very limited window with which to take action before scores of investors unload their stock, the price plummets, and his clients are cost a fortune. However, we can't ignore the fact that this is still a social media post. There is no indication from the case that Walter went beyond the tweet to search for supportive evidence to justify his actions. Walter moved with such haste that he completely disregarded any attempt whatsoever to dive into the nature and or validity of this tweet via an investigation of Brute's history. Therefore, there is a lack of reasonable and adequate basis to warrant his actions.
With respect to communication with clients and prospective clients, Buck Walter failed to use reasonable judgment in identifying which factors are important to their investment analyses, recommendations, or actions, and include those factors in communications with clients and prospective clients. As noted previously, it is unlikely that his disclosed investment strategy includes such reactionary trading. From the information we have, we cannot assume he communicated with his clients before performing his trades. While this case calls for the ethical examination of Walter's response to the tweet from Helen Brute, we argue that the tweet itself presents ethical issues deserving of consideration. Helen Brute could have acted with the intent to mislead market participants and engaged in practices that distort prices or artificially inflate trading volume, in which case market manipulation is present. Given that he has 1 billion followers, the mere implications of his words are clearly enough to drive some investors, such as our friend Buck Walter, to make hasty decisions that aggregate into clear shifts in prices and inflations in trading volume. Even without the intent present, Brute may be populating misleading information, for there is no clear indication of how his follow-up actions will relate, if at all, to the results of the poll, leaving that to the speculation of members within the financial sector.
And while we're assuming that Brute is not subject to CFA standards and guidelines, he did fail to act responsibly in his role as an owner and a manager. He revealed material information to the public before informing his board of any potential actions. And his careless action breached the loyalty to existing stakeholders who could incur material loss from his decision.
Now we will address our recommendations for the case. More detailed guidance needs to be provided to help financial professionals assess the quality of information to prevent future careless actions from taking place. CFA guidelines need to be updated to account for the expediency that may be required when analyzing social media posts and actions capable of affecting the market. There has been a massive increase in retail investors, and social media has become a major source of trading information. Financial professionals need to be wary and keep in mind that social media has become a dominant player in the transmission of information. For example, the Robinhood effect experienced with the artificial inflation of GameStop stocks and from these retail investors. In response to the rapid diffusion of information associated with social media, there needs to be updated practices of communications with clients in order to account for the unprecedented transmission that social media affords.
Beyond the considerations of CFA, we would like to advocate for increased oversight from the board of directors in regards to actions that executive management could make that would have material consequences for the corporations. We also recommend for updated guidelines related to social media communication and utilization in the decision-making process. We would like to take a moment to thank CFA Tampa Bay. We would like to thank you for watching. We are New College of Florida.